Shabbat Shalom, Yasharallah. All praises to Yahweh Mashiach. Indeed, His mercy endures forever. We give the Most High thanks for His multiple blessings in our favor. Just give me 1 sec. Let me get everything already. Shalom, Israel. All praises to Yahweh Mashiach. Indeed, His mercy endures forever. As you already know, we are your servants from the light of Zion. Welcome to Life or Death. Let us start with the book of Colossians, chapter 3 and verse 17. Giving thanks to the Most High Power through His Son, Hamashiach Yahushua. Those of you who are currently watching, please put your name, the state and the city and the state where you are currently watching us from. The book of Colossians, chapter 3 and verse 17. And whatsoever ye do in word or deed, do all in the name of the Adonai Hamashiach, giving thanks to the Most High and the Father by Him. The Most High commands us to do everything to Him via Hamashiach. Let us see why. There is a reason why we are to do everything for the Most High through Hamashiach. Let's go to the book of John, chapter 14 and verse 6. The book of John, chapter 14 and verse 6. Hamashiach said unto him, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No man cometh unto the Father but by me. For us to have access to the Father, we must go through Hamashiach. Hamashiach is the door. He is the gate. He is the person he is the being that will give us access to the Most High. As you can see, the title of the class is Our Modus Operandi as the Chosen Ones. Our modus operandi as the chosen one. The word modus operandi is Latin, that means way of doing something or several things. We are the chosen ones. Let's go to the book of First Chronicles, chapter 16 and verse 13. Shalom, shalom to the entire family. If you are currently watching us, let us know in what city and state you are located. The book of First Chronicles, chapter 16 and verse 13. But let's start at verse 10. Glory ye in his holy name. Let the heart of them rejoice that seek the Most High. We must have a perfect relationship with the Most High. What does that mean? That means making sure that we are in the good grace of the Most High. We must not become the enemies of Yah. If we leave the Most High, where will we go? And where can we go? We make a covenant with the Most High through Hamashiach. We belong to Him. Let's go to the book of Leviticus 20 and verse 26. The book of Leviticus, chapter 20 and verse 26. And ye shall be holy unto me, for I, the Most High, am holy, and have severed you from other people, that ye should be mine. So we belong to the Most High. We are His children. We are His chosen ones. Let's go back to the book of First Chronicles, chapter 16 and verse 10. Glory ye in His holy name. Let the heart of them rejoice that seek the Most High. Verse 11. Seek the Most High and His strength. Seek His face continually. Meaning, we are to be keeping His laws on a daily basis. Making sure that we do our due diligence to keep the laws of Yah through Hamashiach. Verse 12. Remember His marvelous works that He hath done, His wonders, and the judgments of His mouth. Verse 13. All ye seed of Israel, His servant, ye children of Jacob, His chosen ones. Hence, the title of the class, our Modus Operandi as the chosen ones. Let's see where we get the name for this show. This is the book of Baruch, chapter 4 and verse 1. This is the book of the commandments of the Most High, and the law that endeth forever. All they that keep it shall come to life, but such as leave it shall die. When we choose not to follow the commandments of Yah, we must expect death to follow us. When we choose to stray away from the commandments of the Most High, we must know for sure that our life on this earth is going to be miserable. Our life on this earth is going to be plagued with diseases and other evil happenings. Our modus operandi as Israelites. When it comes to us as we Jews, the Most High sets the way and ways how we are to do everything. How we ought to live according to his laws, how we ought to do his services, how we ought to live with one another, and so on and so forth. The problem that we have as Israelites is that we refuse to keep the laws. We refuse the discipline that the Most High sets for us. Let's go to the book of Isaiah. Very good. Isaiah 30. That's what the Most High said to Isaiah concerning us. When once you come into the truth, your life becomes different. Meaning your course of action or your course of actions are now different. The way you use to act must become different. Meaning you went from being somebody in the world into a servant of Yah. That's what the Most High says. Isaiah 30 and let's start at verse 7. The book of Isaiah, chapter 30 and verse 7. Verse 8. Now go, write it before them in a table, and note it in a book, that it may be for the time to come, forever and ever, that this is a rebellious people, lying children, children that will not hear the law of the Most High. That is our main problem. We do not want to abide by the law. We refuse the modus operandi, meaning the mode of operation that the Most High sets for us. Let's see one mode of operation. Oftentimes you will hear people say, well, I'll do it tomorrow. I'll do it next year. This way of talking is not the way that we as chosen ones, as Israelites, should speak. Why am I saying that? Let's go to the book of James, chapter 4. That's what the Most High says concerning this way of speaking. The book of James, chapter 4, let us start at verse 11. All praises to Yahweh Mashiach, indeed his mercy endures forever. Look at verse 10. James chapter 4 and verse 10. Humble yourselves, as you already know. This class is an interactive class. As you are coming in, type your name, the city, and the state where you are watching us from, and be ready to partake in the class. Title of the class is Our Modus Operandi as the chosen ones. Our mode of operation. The way we should behave. The way we should act for the Most High through our Mashiach. As Israelites, as real Jews. Read the book of James, chapter 4 and verse 10. Humble yourselves in the sight of the Most High. Meaning we should not be prideful. In Israel, many of us are prideful. We cannot have this prideful spirit where we think that we are above everybody else. Nobody else can be in our level. We are the top dogs. This type of thinking, this type of thought should not be in our mind. Verse 10, James chapter 4 and verse 10. Humble yourselves in the sight of the Most High, and He shall lift you up. Meaning the Most High will take us from a low state and put us on the higher level. Verse 11, speak not evil one of another. That is a modus operandi. We cannot badmouth one another. Modus operandi means mode of operation, the way we do things, the way we should act. Speak not evil one of another, brethren. He that speaketh evil of his brother and judgeth his brother speaketh evil of the law and judgeth the law. But if thou judge the law, thou art not a doer of the law, but a judge. Meaning that, hey, don't say things that you do not have truth of, that you don't have proof of. Don't pronounce judgment on your brother. Yes, we can judge our brother, but we have to judge them according to what? According to the law. Basically, tell our brothers what they are doing wrong. Tell our sisters what they are doing wrong. But do not pronounce sentence against one another. Verse 12. There is one lawgiver who is able to save and to destroy. Who art thou that judgest one another? Verse 13. Go to now, ye that say, today or tomorrow we will go into such a city and continue there a year and buy and sell and get gain. Whereas, verse 3, the book of James, chapter 4 and verse 14, whereas ye know not what shall be on the morrow. That is why you cannot just say, tomorrow I'll do it. No, it should be tomorrow if it is the will of the Most High. Through Hamashiach, I will do it. Because you have no control of tomorrow. You don't even have control of the next hour. Verse 13. Go to now, ye that say, today or tomorrow we will go into such a city and continue there a year and buy and sell and get gain. Whereas ye know not what shall be on the morrow. For what is your life? It is even a vapor that appeareth for a little time and then vanisheth away. For that ye ought to say, meaning is what you must say. For that ye ought to say, for that you must say, if the Most High will, we shall live and do this or that. What does that mean, Israel? What is the meaning of that verse? James chapter 4 and verse 15. For that ye ought to say, if the Most High will, we shall live and do this or that. That means Put the Most High in the center of everything. Make sure that you include Him because you have no control of the day. Verse 16. But now ye rejoice in your boastings. All such rejoicing is evil, meaning we should not boast ourselves. That is the spirit of pride that many of us have. We are very prideful. Prideful to the point that many of us think, or many of us will say things that are not to be said. Verse 17. Therefore, to him that knoweth to do good and doeth not, to him it is sin. Meaning, if we know that we should be doing what is right in the eyes of Yah, and we don't do it, it is now we become sinners now. And we know that sin is the transgression of the law. Another modus operandi. When it comes to our life, when it comes to our relationship, we can see that our families are broken. There is no order in our families. Our relationships are nothing but a war a fight between brothers and sisters. You can see this fight on YouTube. You can even see it on Clubhouse, where brothers are fighting sisters. Yet we want to be with each other. You can see it. We have the desire to form families, to build families. Somehow, some way, the relationships always go into a sewer. Let's start with the beginning, meaning that the building block. Let's go to the book of Sirach. Let's see what the Most High says to us in Sirach. The book of Sirach, chapter 6 and verse 7. If thou wouldest get a friend, prove him first, and be not hasty to credit him. Now, this is also applicable in the courtship. We do not see dating in the Bible. That is why many of us have no sexual discipline, because we are dating. That is why you can see in fact, we cannot even say that we have a community. The black community is the way it is because we do not follow this modus operandi. The book of Sirach, chapter 6 and verse 7. If thou wouldest get a friend, prove him first. That is why we have word like, or we have a thought like one night stand. Because we do not follow the modus operandi that we have here. We have no sexual discipline. That is why you see brothers and sisters, they are angry at each other. They are having children while being strangers one to another. What does that mean? Shalom, Babylon Doom, 12 tribes. Shalom, shalom, shalom. What does that mean? How come that we had Freaknik in the 90s. We Shalom, soldier Amawataza, Shalom, my brother. We fall down. We are so low because we do not follow this modus operandi. One night stands. Many of the children that are in the black community, they are results of one night stands. The father and the mother don't even know each other, yet they are producing offsprings. Of course, we are to, we should, we have to, and we must expect black on black crime to be currency in the black community. The father and the mother don't even know each other. They didn't have time to do this. The book of Sirach, chapter 6 and verse 7. If thou wouldest get a friend, prove him first. We do not prove each other. In fact, there is no courtship anymore among us. We have dating. And dating means nothing but have sexual intercourse. That is all it means. Let's see what the Most High says again. Let's go to the book of Exodus 22, verse 16. Modus operandi, mode of operation, how we are to behave, how we are to act. Let's go to the book of Exodus 22, verse 16. Shalom to the entire family. Shalom, shalom, shalom. The book of Exodus, chapter 22 and verse 16. And if a man entice a maid that is not betrothed and lie with her, he shall surely endow her to be his wife. We don't see this often in Israel. That is why we have the black community. That is why the situation is the way it is among Israel. Modus operandi, mode of operation, way of doing things. Even on the plantations, they have ways of doing things. Even on for instance, a cell phone, they give you the way to use it. The Most High also gives us the way to live according to his laws. Modus operandi. How do we resolve conflict among ourselves? What do we see now? Open rebuke on mother so and so. Mother so and so exposed. That is what we see among Israel. It should not be so. Let's go to the book of Matthew, chapter 18, verse 15. Now, the book of Matthew is what the book of Matthew is part of the gospel. If you are watching us, let us know in what city and state you are located. All praises to our Mashiach. Indeed, his mercy endures forever. You are watching Life or Death. The book of Matthew, chapter 18, verse 15. Moreover, if thy brother shall trespass against thee, meaning that you have an issue with this brother, he does something that makes you mad. Go and tell him his fault between thee and him alone. Now, what does that mean? Israel, what is the meaning of Matthew 18, verse 15? I see that four of you are watching. I want the meaning of this verse. Matthew 18, verse 15. Moreover, if thy brother shall trespass against thee. Reading is fundamental. Now the words in that verse are in red. That means Hamashiach is saying this. Christ says, moreover, if thy brother shall trespass against thee, meaning that he does something that you are not really in accordance with. What he does makes you angry. Yes, but it just says, address the issue with the brother, and if he heeds, you have gained him. But my mother says, go and tell him his fault between thee and him alone. The key word here is you and him alone. There is a problem that we have with one another. We do not want to talk to each other. Instead, we talk at each other. The modus operandi says that we have to talk to one another, not talk at each other. The book of Matthew, chapter 18, verse 15. If thy brother shall trespass against thee, go and tell him his fault between thee and him alone. If he shall hear thee, thou hast gained thy brother. So we can, if we were to apply this law, this modus operandi, this mode of operation between one another, many of us, some families would still be together. We would have less deaths in the black community, meaning so-called black community. Oftentimes, a brother may misspoke. Our brother just says, Captain, when we address the person who has done the trespass, in what spirit should we tell him his fault? Depending on the offense, we could still be mad or upset with him with the trespass. Yes. In what spirit? First, always make sure that you check yourself up. You check yourself first. Yes, we can be mad, but the Bible says this. Let's go to the book of Ephesians, chapter 4 and verse 26. Ephesians. That's what the Most High says in Ephesians. Yes, you can be mad, but do not let this occur to you to the point that now, instead of addressing the issue, now you are fighting your brother. Let's go to the book of Ephesians, chapter 4 and verse 26. Now, the book of Ephesians is a letter from Paul to our brothers and sisters that were in Ephesus. That's what he told them. When you are reading the writing of Paul, you will see a constant theme in his writings. How he wants us to love one another, and also making sure that we give thanks to the Most High. We praise the Most High. We keep his laws through Hamashiach. We make sure that the law is at the center of our actions. Ephesians chapter 4 and verse 26. Be ye angry and sin not. Yes, you will be angry, but you will make sure that you control your anger. Yes, you are angry with the brother. Guess what? Now you are going to talk to him face to face in a calm demeanor, in a good frame of mind, so that we can address the issue. Mother Babylon Doom 12 Tribe says, pray for the Hebrew community. Lack of ups and downs. Yes. And there are many ups and downs. We are to address them one way or another. Oftentimes we tend to kick the can along the road. Or let us put it now, we will deal with it later. No. Some issues we ought to deal with them ASAP. If the issue is of high priority, we must deal with it. For instance, family issues. For instance, brotherhood. Because you may not think that a brother has an issue with something that you said. Now, before the wound festers, address it. The book of Ephesians, chapter 4, and verse 26. Be ye angry and sin not. So we are to address our issues in a calm demeanor. The book of Matthew, let's go to the book of Matthew. Modus operandi, mode of operation. How to live as the chosen ones. The book of Matthew, chapter 18 and verse 15. Moreover, if thy brother shall trespass against thee, go and tell him his fault between thee and him alone. If he shall hear thee, thou hast gained thy brother. Verse 16. But if he will not hear thee, take with thee one or two more, that in the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses every word may be established. The same thing that you see here in Matthew, Paul repeat that same thing with the Corinthians. And it all stems from the book of Deuteronomy concerning witnesses. Israel, as real Jews, as the people of Yah, but let's go to the book of 1 Peter chapter 2 and verse 9. Oftentimes we act the way we act the way we act because we do not know our worth. Because we see ourselves as inwards. No. The minute that we change our thought patterns, we change our view of ourselves, we will start to live a different life for the Most High through Hamashiach within the commandments. Let's go to the book of 1 Peter 2 and verse 9. I want you to let me know what the Most High says in this verse. Let's see what Peter says. The book of 1 Peter, chapter 2. In fact, let us start at verse 8. 1 Peter 2 and verse 8. You know what? Let's start at verse 1. 1 Peter chapter 2 and verse 1. Wherefore, laying aside all malice and all guile and hypocrisies and envies and all evil speakings. We need to stop bad-mouthing one another. Deal with the issues. Do not be sensitive. That is our problem. We are too sensitive. Yet we say, oh, we are kings. We are the strongest of all people. Yet we are as sensitive. We are more sensitive than a leech. First Peter chapter 2 and verse 1. Wherefore, laying aside all malice and all guile, and hypocrisies, and envies, and all evil speakings. Badmouth other camps. We cannot do that. Talk bad about other schools. Talk bad about other congregations. We cannot do that. That is why we have to apply the laws. If we have an issue with a brother or another or a camp, address it with one another. Verse 9, verse 8. And a stone of stumbling block and a work of offense, even to them which stumble at the word. But let's start at verse 7. First Peter 2 and verse 7. Unto you, therefore, which believe he is precious, but unto them which be disobedient, the stone which the builders disallowed, the same is made the head of the corner. That is Hamashiach. And a stone of stumbling block and a work of offense, even to them which stumble at the word, being disobedient, whereunto also they were appointed. Verse 9. But many of our people that don't believe in Hamashiach will be a stumbling block for them. Verse 9. But ye are a chosen generation, a royal priesthood, and holy nation, a peculiar people. Israel, take your time to see what Peter is saying here. What is he saying? What is he saying here? I want you to let me know what he is saying here, because this verse has plenty of meat to hype up our self-esteem. Because in Israel, many of us have low self-esteem. Let's talk about it. That is why we talk about texturism, or darkism, all type of nonsense. Many of us have very low self-esteem. That is why we are always seeking the love of the other nations. First Peter chapter 2 and verse 9. But, au contraire, ye are a chosen generation, a royal priesthood. Meaning that we are the ones that he sets aside for himself. Yes, he creates all the nations, but the nation of Israel is his peculiar one, his special one, his special one, his distinguished ones. But ye are a chosen generation, a royal priesthood, and holy nation. The Most High, the King of Kings, the Lord of Lords, through HaMashiach Yahawashai, says that we are a royal priesthood. That means we belong to the family of the King, of the Supreme King. But many of us, we don't see that. That is why we try to do everything to disfigure ourselves. How do we disfigure ourselves? Mother Babylon Doom, 12 tribes. How do we disfigure ourselves? Spiritually and physically. Let's talk, Israel. Let's talk. We have 10 more minutes. Let us talk very quick. Many of us, what do? We bleach our skin. We bleach our skin. But it just says by taking the idea. What idea? Let's see what God. Let's see what the Most High says very quick. Let's go to the book of Jeremiah 2. This you will see it. You will of the other nations. Yes, we are following after the other nations. I want an example. Give me an example of how we are following after the other nations. I want an example very quick. Remember, this class is an interactive class where you take part, you participate in this class. Where we talk, we go over the scriptures. We have a major problem. The major problem that we have is that we do not want to talk to one another. We talk at each other. Let's see what the Most High says. Let's go to the book of Jeremiah 2. Jeremiah was a major prophet. In the Bible, there are 4 major prophets: Daniel, Jeremiah, Ezekiel, and Isaiah. They are the 4 major prophets. Yeah, by not keeping the commandments. Yes, but give me an example. Let us be more specific in some ways. In our daily life. In our daily life, let us we always address the present. That is why oftentimes when we are teaching in the streets, we talk about what we are seeing in front of us. What it does, it puts you in the moment. It puts you in the present. For instance, many of us men, what do? We think that we can go all over the place and sleep around. In the Black community, we see players as top dogs. It should not be so. Because the Most High says that the minute you sleep with a woman, you must take that woman as your wife. But players, what do? They go through the sisters. As a result, many of them become sick. As a result, many of them, they cannot even hold money on the bank account because many of them are on child support. This is the present. We cannot live like that. This is not the life. This is not a life according to Yah. Bleaching, skin bleaching. Many of our people have low self-esteem. But the Most High says that we are a chosen generation, a royal priesthood, and holy nation. So if we are a holy nation, we should not be doing this. Let's go to the book of Jeremiah 2 and verse 33. Jeremiah 2 and verse 33. Why trimmest thou thy way to seek love? Therefore hast thou also taught the wicked, therefore hast thou also taught the wicked ones thy ways. Israel, like the video and share it so that other people can see it. As we are embarking on this revolution, where we are taking the truth on another level to bring more Israelites into the truth, like the videos, share them, talk to family members, social media platforms, spread the truth. The Most High says, why trimmest thou to seek love? Yes, we always want to be in the good grace of the other nations. We should try to be in the good grace of Yah, and Yah will do this for us. Let's go to the book of Jeremiah 15 and verse 11. The book of Jeremiah chapter 15 and verse 11. The Most High said, verily it shall be well with with thy remnant. Verily, I will cause the enemy to entreat thee well in the time of evil and in the time of affliction. So if we are in good accord, if we are in good, if we have a good relationship with Yah through Mashiach, He will make our enemies to treat us well. Israel, the title of the class is Our Modus Operandi as the Chosen Ones, meaning how we should act as the true Jews, as the real Jews. We saw that we cannot talk at each other. We have to talk to one another, according to Matthew 18, verse 15. That we are to practice sexual discipline. That we cannot say, oh, tomorrow I'll do this. No. Should be tomorrow, if it is the will of Yah, through a Mashiach, I will do it. Let us incorporate the modus operandi, which are the commandments in our life, to make sure we live in the present. We fully apply the laws of Yah in our life. Shalom to the entire family. Shalom, 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 shalom to all of you. Let's go to the book of Psalm 133. Psalm 133, which is a song of ascents. According to several scholars, the song of ascents or song of ascents, the songs of ascents or the songs of degrees, we used to sing them on our way to Jerusalem. Also, the priests, they used to recite them while they were climbing the stairs of the temple. Let's see what the Most High. Let's go to the book of Psalm 133. Psalm 133. The book of Psalm, chapter 133. Behold, how good and how pleasant it is for brethren to dwell together in unity. In unity with our brothers and sisters. In unity with those that are part of the family. In unity with those that choose to serve Yahshua Mashiach. In unity with those that apply the laws of Yah in their life. The book of Psalm, chapter 133. Behold, how good and how pleasant it is for brethren to dwell together in unity. In unity with brother or sister Babylon doomed 12 tribes. For brethren to dwell together in unity. In unity with our brother Jay, Soldier Amortaza. In unity for brethren to dwell together in unity. In unity with all of you who are currently watching. For brethren to dwell together in unity. In unity with our Sister Deborah Dennis in Chatham, Massachusetts. For brethren to dwell together in unity with all the 12 tribes of Israel. It is like the precious ointment upon the head that ran down upon the beard, even Aaron's beard, that went down to the skirts of his garments, as the dew of Hermon, and as the dew that descended upon the mountains of Zion. For there the Most High commanded the blessing, even life forevermore. Bahashem, Hamashiach Yahawashai, Sawadatham Yad, Amen. Shalom Yahshua, know that we love you. But before we leave, I want you to take a moment to check to see if the light of Zion is doing the work of Yah through Hamashiach. If the light of Zion is doing the work of the Most High through Christ. On my side, I can say that with all proof that the light of Zion is doing the work of Yah through Hamashiach. Therefore, Israel, the Most High says this, the Hamashiach says this, last scripture, in the book of Acts. That's what Hamashiach says. The book of Acts is a book that our brother Luke wrote. In the book, Luke recounts the acts of what our prophets, of what our brothers did while they were on earth. Guys like Peter, prophets like Paul. Let's see what the Most High says in Acts 20, verse 35. That's what Hamashiach says. In the book of Acts 20, verse 35. The book of Acts, chapter 20, and verse 35. I have shewed you all things, how that so laboring ye ought to support the weak. At the light of Zion, all praises to Yahshua Mashiach, we have a food drive program where we feed our people in the neighborhood every Wednesday. And to remember, not only we feed them spiritually, we also teach in the neighborhood. And to remember the words of the Adon Hamashiach, how he said, it is more blessed to give than to receive. Meaning that you will get blessings when you give, when you donate. Therefore, Israel, as much as you can, or as less as you can, first, pray for us. We request your prayers. Secondly, donate to this ministry via Cash App. It is $THEELOZ. $THEELOZ. Israel, all praises to Yahshua Mashiach. You can rest assured that we will use your donation to further the gospel, to further the good news to our people. We will use your donation to reach our people wherever they are by all lawful and legal means necessary. Shalom Yahshua. May the Most High Mashiach bless you all. Know that you are a son and daughter of Yah. Therefore, your modus operandi, your way of living, your code of conduct, your mannerisms should be according to the laws of Yah. Through HaMashiach. May the Most High HaMashiach bless you all. Have a good week. Shalom.